been something that has been extremely difficult for me to do because it's been more than 10 years of happenings, and the circumstances I've gone through in these 10 years have consisted of so many things, twists and turns. And for me, even to fraction of it, trying to recall and make sense has been so energetically draining. And there's also been that element of fear of having done so before a few times, I would say plenty of times throughout the years, and not being taken seriously or believed in what I have been sharing. So with that said, I'm going to share it because I am in a place where I just feel like this is the only right thing to do. And I have also come to a corner where I'm like, I don't know what to do. I have to share it. And I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to witness this share. I'll do my best to make it as short as possible because that has been a very big challenge. So you will hear a fraction of it. I want to say a huge thank you for being part of my journey. It's been the most beautiful gift. I'm so grateful and so happy for since 2019 when I joined back on social media that I have met the most wonderful people all around the world, connected, made friends, been invited and part of beautiful events, taken into with open arms to the most amazing communities. And it has meant the world to me because of my journey. Building relationships, connecting hasn't been an easy thing for me to do. And that you will understand now more when you hear a little bit background. And like I said, I'm doing my best to make it as simply understand and as short, condensed as possible. So just know that a lot of things are gonna be like in between the lines, just missing, but so be it. All right, here we go. So over 10 years ago, I was going through one of the hardest times in my life. I was processing a separation from a relationship that was abusive. It was psychologically, emotionally, very manipulative and controlling by its nature. And separating from it the time after just took everything that I had. Like I was in total shock, traumatized, in so much fear and so much sadness. And I had 3 young children that I had to be a mom to, and was just doing my best to operate as well as I could, but not in a good place. That already, for me to process all of that, was enough. Plenty of enough, but that wasn't the only thing I had to deal with. I became aware of at the same time that my privacy was being violated and tampered, and it was happening digitally through my devices, phones, laptops, through online everything, apps, ordering things, emails, banking, my location services, my children's phones. I knew that it was happening, but it was so intelligently done that I could not prove it enough that it was taking place. And because I was going already through so much of the emotional distress from the separation, and I had a lot of fear on a level I never knew was possible because of the behavior I was facing, and couldn't sleep enough. My family and friends, when I was voicing out my concern about the privacy being tampered, would not believe me because they thought that I was just losing it because of all the stress and the trauma I was processing, that I was psychotic. And that is the diagnosis that I got in the hospital, taken by my family members. They're saying that I was just making up these things, that these were not happening, and it was because I was so upset about the separation that I believe that these things are happening. So I was in the records in the hospital. I was never taken in, but I had to go on regular checkups for, I think it was a time of 6 months, 10 years ago, to the Center of Early Psychosis, just to discuss, and for, I think there were like 3 women to evaluate me, that I was operating, functioning like well. And I was never, nobody ever said to me that, you have gone through this emotional abuse, and that you should go and get support from here or there, and it's really important that you do. I was never taken seriously. I wasn't believed by anyone that this was happening. So I had to learn to keep things to myself. I opened up my heart throughout the years a few times, and just took the chance that, hey, I have to go and check this out. I have to go and check this out. I need security in my home. I need somebody to help me. And I was doing everything in as secret as I could. And thankfully, I had means then to just go and speak to therapists, like, because I was just like, no, if no one else believes me, I just need to go and speak to someone who has confidentiality agreement. So I went and processed my own, like, just having to express everything that I was dealing with, just with a lot of different people that I paid to speak, so to say. And I changed a lot because I felt like no one is taking me seriously, no one is believing, but I have to make sure that I get this out with someone. And I spent so much money on devices. I don't know how many, probably hundreds of prepaid phone numbers I have had, probably 30 different phones, Androids, iPhones, the basic Nokias, because that advice I also got to have those, tablets, computers, iPads, you name it, and probably every single phone company, service provider I changed, and banks I changed, and everything, locks in the house where I used to live, did everything that I could think of to just keep things as safe as possible, and also paid for security companies. And no one could ever find that anything was wrong. Yet I had this just knowing that things are not the way they're supposed to. And I had no idea where to go and get help. And I will say here that the first 3 years, I was screaming for someone to save me, and to get me and the boys just out of this situation. And I didn't believe that I could be able to feel safe and good within myself. So I did a lot of things to just numb myself and escape the reality when I didn't have my kids and I had the opportunity to go just on the weekend out or go on a trip. I would do that because it's like, this, I cannot handle this. Is nobody believes me. This is what it is. But I need to get out for a little while because I am like I cannot handle it, basically. But everything changed, turned around after those 3 years. And that's when I was just like, I have to take things into now on another level. And I did a move. I moved 3 times throughout the 10 years, but the first move was 7 years ago. And that was the best thing I could ever do. That was also the time when I had a year's break of social media, just to tune in, because I knew it was I wasn't using it in a healthy way, and I knew it was compromised. And I knew that I needed to take time for myself, to support myself and be there for myself. I knew I did not love myself. I didn't know how to be alone. I was searching all the time for someone to save me in forms of a relationship, really. That was my biggest thing, that I just wanted to have a man in my life and have that sense of family and protection. There's nothing more that I wanted that. Family has always been my driver, to have my own family. So I understood that I needed to become my own support system, and that's how the whole best friend thing began, was during that year. And it was the most healing, best thing I could ever do, was to have that time. And then in 2019 spring, that's when I got back on social media. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't by no means easy, because then I had to get back on all different platforms. And I obviously created everything new. I got new devices just to create everything new phone numbers just to create everything from clean. Yet still I had those same difficulties in connecting, getting a connection, creating everything. And I knew that I wasn't in the clear. That 1 year when I was like away from everything, I kind of like, I was building myself, but I was completely in denial of what was happening. So I had to face it again. And why I'm now sharing this is because my concern still is that I cannot provide a 100% safe experience to anyone, because I have this dilemma still on in my life, that somehow and this is the thing, that of everything that I have experienced, things happening digitally, and my behalf, there's been so many things that has taken place that are, by the way they have happened, I know that it takes more than just a few people to pull it through. So I knew that, okay, so I have an opposition in my life, but I don't know, because no one finds anything, and the police says that there is not enough evidence of anything happening. I don't have the means anymore to fix it. I cannot even buy a new phone at the moment anymore. Like, I pushed myself on the edge in that way, of resources, and not knowing how can I resolve this anymore, that I need to share this and to be transparent, that this is what I come with. This is part of my journey, but I don't know now how to resolve it. And I have so much within me that I want to connect, and I want to do so much good with everything that I have within me, that I know that I'm meant to do. Yet, for some reason, I have this opposition that is wanting to hinder my expression, blocking me. And that is not right. Because the last thing I want to do is to pass this on, harm anyone else, to burden anyone else with my circumstances. That's the last thing. And that's why I've been a lot alone. And it's been really difficult. And the hardest part for me has been feeling alone with it, not being believed. So in the physical environment, to go out and meet people, and to even look for work, it's been really difficult for me to do that. To trust, and just to no, how am I supposed to do without jeopardizing anyone else? That I don't want to do that. Another setback that I had in my journey was in 2020 when I got myself into a long distance relationship with a American marketer who I had come to see for the first time in a group where I had a lot of friends I had met online. And I knew this person had worked with a lot of powerful, influential people with big companies, and also with many well-known people in the entertainment industry, mostly in the music industry. So when I was approached by him, first we were just interacting, and then quite soon we were in a long distance relationship. And the behavior changed quite quickly into a very strange one. And he said that he had multiple personality disorder, which would be fine, but I didn't believe in it because it switched the behavior. So I thought that because I had shared my worry and my background, I thought that he was just acting, that I had to play along. That was what my intuition and gut was saying, that he knew that I was in trouble, and that our phone calls were monitored, and that he had to act like he was horrible, and I was acting along, playing along with it, because deep inside he was protecting me and the kids. This is what I believed for a few years. And throughout this time, he also said that he was in financial difficulties and legal difficulties, and that he needed help with that. So I wire transferred little by little throughout the time we were together, over 20,000 US dollars for him. And also thought that that was somehow part of him helping, being there for me. And it was horrible, the behavior at times. And I was completely like so upset with it and in distress with it. But still, I thought that it was a way that I had to act, that it was all like pretend. And he also was the one who got me to write the book, really to push me to write the book, and had all control in publishing the book. I gave that for him to do. And I did not question or anything, but I didn't have a physical copy of my own book when it was in 2021, the first time published in the summer 2021. I didn't get a copy, and I couldn't order a author copy either for myself. And then, even if I shouldn't, I traveled to the States to meet him. He could not travel because he was in legal trouble, which I didn't believe he really was. So I traveled to the States and thought that when I meet him, everything's gonna be, he's gonna say that I'm sorry for everything, that I had to act like that I was an asshole, but it was just for protection. I was in disbelief when I came there soon, because nothing went how I had thought for in my imagination for a few years. So I think I was there for less than 15 hours because it was in the evening when I arrived. And thankfully, I had a friend who lived there in the same area, and she did not know I was even in the States, that sent me an Uber. And I had, during that short time that I had been there with him, compromised myself in ways that I never thought I would more compromise myself. Thankfully, she took me under her wings with her amazing family. And then I had, again, I had to heal and process that what have I got myself into and how am I gonna get myself up and out from this again. I got from that trip this copy of my book. This is how it looked like. First time I saw it ever in the physical, over 6 months after it had been published. And then I had quite a lot to process because it was a mess. Everything was a mess in it. And I took power over it again and published the book again in summer 2022 with Amazing Friends being part of the launch. I healed myself and got over that time by reading my own writings and then doing the proper editing of the book and getting help with getting it formatted and published properly. So that's what I needed as a learning lesson to show appreciation for my own work and then to really do justice to the message of the book. That's how I see it. I went to the police with the delay after the trip because it was really not an easy place for me to be accepting and understanding what I had done. I was advised to make a official, I don't know if it's called charge or complaint about that this had happened. So they put it in the records. But by the next day, I got the call from another police who said that he had gone through the records, my records of that lending the money. Then he said that that's not enough. And he said that he will dismiss the charges because I have been in a relationship with this man and that he believes that he will still pay it back for me, that it's not enough to have it in the records. Finally, I want to acknowledge a person who is deserving so much acknowledgement, and there's not enough words for me to even begin to say how appreciative, how grateful I am for her support, and that has been my mother. She has throughout the years been supporting financially. I don't know where I would have been if it wasn't for her unconditional, super generous support, no matter that she has not believed in what has happened and has not understood at all what I'm doing and has been worried and has been upset with many of my choices throughout the years. But nevertheless, she has always, always been there and made moves possible, made sure that I have a home with the children and that I have food, money for food with the children and for other things too, that I would not be here if it wasn't for my mother's support. And I just need to acknowledge her. There's so much that she is deserving back, and I cannot wait one day when I can turn the tables around. Everything happens for a reason, and just like my book, that the best is yet to come, I believe in it 100%. I have throughout the years, and I have reminded myself to always be in the moment and appreciative of the past, that it has gotten me to this moment, and to be grateful and appreciative of it, and to know that the next moments to come are determined by having that attitude of positivity and gratitude and love, and that then the best is yet to come always in front of us. I believe that 100%. So with that said, it's coming. And thank you so much for taking time to witness this, my journey. I appreciate you so much, sending so much love.